Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, we invite you to pick up the telephone and give us a call. Some people like to bat first. Some people like to open bowl. You have that opportunity. Pick up the telephone, call 442-0175 on your punch. We on RealFM 91.9, YouTube and Facebook. We speak about anything, politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any topical issue of the day. And you remember, you can intervene at any time and choose what you want to speak about. While I wait your call, I will pay some attention to farmers in Grenada. We never not want to speak about farmers. There's a lot of issues to speak about farming. And most of the farmers I know are disappointed. This present government spoke about farming so much, but so far, they have daunted the dreams of our farmers and have brought more heartache than anything else. So I want to concentrate on farmers. We are a small country. And when you're dealing with economy of scale, you always have to take that into consideration when you go in and get in an agriculture venture. So I think a question newcomers to agriculture must ask themselves: what are the most profitable crops for small farmers in Grenada? And perhaps you might want to list about 10 of the most profitable agriculture ventures that an ordinary person could go in. When I say ordinary, you may not have the experience. You may not be starting with any serious discretionary income of finance. You may not have backing. The financial institution, the traditional commercial financial institution do not like you. They don't even want you to work in the office or in a bank. That is the reason government over the years, since the year was one, started the GDB Bank to help to provide financing for people that the banks are not attracted to. This government has acted as a parasite on that bank, and several members of the government removed millions of dollars from the bank. So it is not likely that you can get any serious funding from the bank. But you must ask yourself, what are the most profitable crop for small farmers? Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. Caller, you there? Punch.
I don't want to really dive from your topic.
Well, something happened with that caller, so. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah. You're not hearing me?
Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah. I say that so you have a stop to start up on the farming area, but I want to make up 2 points. Now, some people talking about politics in independence. I could remember that Sir Eric, when he got independence in 1974, he go to his struggle. The next prime minister came in to take over the reign.
Don't listen to the radio behind you. Don't listen to the radio. Your radio playing and you're listening to it. Just flow. Don't listen to the radio. Or turn it down a little.
The first party in Grenada to bring politics to this celebration was the NDC. I don't know if you remember or anybody could share that views with me. They bring politics into independence celebration. We used to have more unity long time. I could remember in 1999, the NDC was calling other activities in other areas when there is an independence celebration on the 7th, to divert the attention of people from going to the Queen's Park. So now people saying about this unity, I want them to know whose party started it. NDC is the first party started division. I don't know if anyone wants to challenge me on that. I'm sure they cannot challenge me. I also want to congratulate the new winner for the Calypso 2020 for the 50 years. Scholar, say congratulations to you. Say that also. Mr. Pierre, I am saying that your program is so informative because I was in Trinidad in 1986, and I say it again. I was in Trinidad in 1986. At the time, Ian Robinson was the Prime Minister, and he won that election. And while I walk in the street of Chaguanas, I happened to meet with the longest serving opposition leader in that country. He now deceased, Bazio Pandey. And while we're chatting, he told me, let us have a nip. You know, they call a quarter rum in Trinidad nip. In Grenada, we say, bring a quarter. In Trinidad, we say, quarter nip. We had a nip of punching, and we was chatting. And he was telling me, I'm really glad Robbie making some mistakes. I didn't want to mention it on the radio. I said so before, and I said it again. So this is why I'm saying our leader in this country are very lucky and very fortunate to have such program where you are pointing out mistakes, you are pointing out error, and in some areas you might even suggest alternative. Opposition about don't do that. They're glad. The government is making a lot of mistakes. So this one here is very, very fortunate to know that they're making, you're going the wrong way. They're going the wrong way. And on your program, people told me you're 10 euros. So what the government should do. And they're not listening, but they are very, very fortunate. Also, I'm not hearing nothing these days about the last parliamentary rep which was transferred to go and study. I'm not hearing like Mr. Pierre Lucas, the gracious offer must become true because I put to rest. So it was the gracious offer he expect must become true because I find that is very quiet. I also want to say again, sir, was a man who believes in God, man of God. In 1995 election, he said that God said to him, when I win, that's what he said, when I win, I will give you back your sight. And believe he campaigned on that. He believes in God. I will give you back your sight. The man do a prayer. I don't know if anybody knows that. But I used to hear around him. He believes in prayer. He believes in prayer. So it was a real great man. I need to hear his name sung in more up to the last few days. His name should really come. He and Dr. Mitchell for being two Grenada heroes. Because I will say, your program is too short for me to mention things what happened under the NNP in 20 years.
On Friday,
your program is too short.
Caller, on Friday, that program is dedicated to people speaking about the positives of Eric Gary and Keith Mitchell and any group or any individuals else from the community that we will speak about them. So on Friday in particular, you can throughout the program we have it open to pay tribute and to highlight and to speak about Gary and Kit Mitchell.
I know a lot about their boat, so thank you. I will try to see if I could embrace somebody up.
And please call. On Friday, we really want to listen to people calling from every creek and corner in Grenada, saying some of the things they remember, paying tribute. Yes, thank you. Don't expect, and I constantly say that to people, don't expect in the National Democratic Congress to talk good about Eric Gary or Kit Mitchell. The National Democratic Congress, this is not in the heart. Anytime they call these people name in a positive way, it affects them. If you want to hear about Eric Gary and Kit Mitchell, you have to do the speaking about it. Don't expect them to call their name. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, my brother.
I hear you talking about GDB Bank. You know about Care Bank too? What had happened to us?
Yes, caller.
There was a bank, the authority told Kit Mitchell not to give the man license to open bank.
That is not true, caller. That is not true.
Tell us what is true.
Caller. At that time, you did not have to have the permission from the ECCB to open bank. You did not have to have permission to do that. As a result of tightening up of the financial institution, they decided that all these banks have to come under ECCB. There was your background noise. I'll answer you off the air because you're making background noise. You could take it out of me. Now, at that time, you didn't have to have permission to open a bank. The governments in the Caribbean decide, as a matter of tightening up the financial institution, that all banks must come under the ECCB. And there were certain requirements that Cap Bank was supposed to meet. Cap Bank applied to the ECCB. Dwight Venner was in charge. And Dwight Venner did not accept Cap Bank. Cap Bank took Dwight Venner to court. They took the ECCB to court because they believed they was qualified. And the case never called. I never blamed Cap Bank. And then the opposition put the magic spin. I have the greatest respect for Dwight Venner, but I believe he was wrong. And if he had come under the ambit of the ECCB, he might have been able to be properly regularized. So when you get a loan from Cap Bank, the check couldn't come in Cap Bank name. Cap Bank had to use other people to able to get your check passed. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. And we lost that caller. So over the years, Debug himself perhaps has not lived up to what he's supposed to do. But his biggest stumbling block in coming under the ECCB regulation, I believe, was Dwight Venner. If you didn't agree with him, he challenged the matter in court. About 7 years, the court will call. So, caller, you have to understand that. Everything which in Grenada, we try to blame the political parties. And I like a political party that prepared to take some measure of risk. And over the years, NNP has done that. Some of them came to naught. But those risks was never about the benefit of the prime minister or the ministers. It's always attempting to improve this country. It is not like the National Democratic Congress. Most of the risks the NDC take was to benefit some of themselves. Like taking a loan to cut down Belvedere nutmeg. Banda nutmeg was introduced in Grenada in 1843. What the NDC could say they cut down banana nutmeg for? One of the members wrote a book, The Black Gold. And then they go and cut down the black gold. That makes sense? Then they go and dig up wrong river and twine to plant banana. Every extension officer, every agricultural expert in the ministry say if you want to plant organic banana, you have to bring cattle 2 years before. You can use poultry litter. You can use poultry manure. That is not organic. You can use waste from pig. That is not organic. You have to go after cattle, sheep or goat, but cattle are going to give you the quickest amount of quantity that you want. Bring it 2 years before. But at that time, the NDC decide no. They want to produce banana for Salisbury or Salisbury. That was a failure. The National Democratic Congress has been the most destructive party to agriculture in Grenada. The propaganda machine is good. And nobody wants to take them on. But if the worst government where agriculture is concerned, under 2 years, look at how NDC started. They fired 31 workers from Grand Bay Estate. They closed down the pest management unit for the source of industry to control the croton scale insect. And after we beg on radio, they bring back 3 persons. Look at what they do to MNIB. If New Zealand could have sold snow, New Zealand would have subsidized snow. Absolutely nothing is wrong in MNIB losing money. What you have to do is to manage it properly. Because you can see it as a direct subsidy to the farmer. Take, for instance, we have some dumb economists in this country. You know? Not because a man have a briefcase, a certificate over your head, doesn't mean you have economic sense. You know? If you have the best economists in the world, and they advise the government, because an estate in the rural community that employ under 100 people directly is not making money, then they have to take the social impact, the socio-economic impact of the estate. The estate might be losing $50,000, $100,000 every year. But the estate employ over 100 people directly, and indirectly, the estate provide for an additional 50. Now you have to look at that. It cannot be just straight the book. It can't be. These are economists without any empathy, compassion, and it doesn't take into consideration the socio-economic impact of the loss of that agriculture venture in the community. If you follow this economist, you go have war, you go have revolution, you go have demonstration, you go have increase in violence and pretty lasting. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, your radio in the back. Once
you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nice. Listen to me, Godi, very carefully. You always speak with some sense, okay? I like how you speak. I like how you speak, okay? Enjoy your morning, okay?
Thank you, caller. So now we speak about small farmers. And we must have this discussion. This discussion is supposed to play among agricultural teachers. People who learn in agriculture. You hear every time a baloney about we want young people in agriculture. We have enough people in agriculture in Grenada. But we don't have enough good farmers. Grenada is a small country. Anytime you have a country with 80% of the people directly or indirectly in agriculture are poor countries. What we need is better farmers. If young people and newcomers want to get involved in agriculture, they should sit down and determine what are the most profitable agriculture ventures for small farmers. Bearing in mind the natural challenges that we have. You can't go in the bank don't want to see you. This present NDC government screw up the development bank. They take the money out there for their own self. A selfish, miserable, greedy bunch of people. We have climatic conditions affecting you. And because of economy and scale, you would have some restraint. What are the most profitable agriculture ventures for small farmers? You may have, let us say you have under 5 acres of land. Or you don't have no land and you want to go in agriculture. And you could go in agriculture in Grenada without land. What are the most profitable ventures you could go in? Livestock. A number of people who have no land but they have livestock. They are sheep and goat. If you don't have land, you better stay away from goat. Goat is more destructive. Your neighbors will be less tolerant to goats than sheep. So if you don't have land, a small quantity of land where you're doing zero grazing, once you have goat, you have to prepare to do zero grazing. Vegetable production. Grenada have the most landowners in the Caribbean. Thank God for Eric Gary, the Land for the Landless program. So you have under an acre of land and you have your house in it. Maybe you could go into seasoning. Upon a time when the market is over $40. Celery. Scythe. Imagine you have 2 tasks of land in lettuce production. You don't want cocoa on that acre of land. Why are you doing cocoa and nutmeg on it? You have to be dumb twice. What you doing with that on it? Particularly if you have access to water. Better you grow corn. And let your wife or your spouse roast corn by the road. Or boil corn while you grow the corn. So you're providing employment for members of your family. There are some people who go in other vegetable production. Bees. You don't need much land to grow in bees. You could rear bees right behind your house. And some people would permit you to put bees on their land because of pollination. You could go get involved in fishing. The sea is a good source of income. You could get involved in fishing. You could go on the rock and fish. You could fish in the river. Or maybe within time you could have a small boat and go. You could produce sea moss. That is another area. And I'm talking about profitable, income generating areas. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Now, what I call to talk about. Yesterday morning, I heard Pastor Simon sermon. I heard part of it. I did not hear all. But and the sermon, he bring the sermon, well, I have to say, all what is singing on now is the division with this independence celebration. But as I spoke it already, but what I want Pastor Sanford Simon to do, the division came in by himself, Kerry Forrester, and Ken Jones, because them what start dividing the independents. When it was Brizan, it was so. When it was Tillman Thomas and them, it was not like that. Because I know in Tillman Thomas and them time, NDC, NNP all used to meet in the stadium and have a good time. But so then, and it's when Terry Forrester could not have get what he asked Dr. Kit for his wife. This is the time the separation started. He feel well he should get what he wants and things. Then they start with this Cameroon pack and things. So Simon must understand. This so many bring the about division and one thing to the other. They started it. It's them what started. Them what divide cause the division between the independence celebration now. Look what stupidness what's going on with this independence celebration. All kind of stupidness going on with it. All kind of stupidness.
Sister, you want me tell you who start this thing?
Uh-huh.
I want listen to me a while.
Yes.
Now there is some people that advocate restorative justice.
Yes.
They advocate classless people,
yes.
nasty people, greedy and needy people, and good people.
Yes.
They sectionize, they attack people in this country and
what?
call them all kind of despicable and shameful names.
Yes.
They are the ones that are contributing to division in Grenada. Nobody else.
Yes, them what started and calling people a clown.
And they continue to propagate it. They claim if you wearing colors, you is a clown. You is a Morocco.
Going in the stadium and waving flag.
They are the ones. The National Democratic Congress is the group of people that causing division and fracture in Grenada.
Yes,
they are the ones. You don't have to jig about that.
They are the ones that causing the division.
Some of the members want to play jack on both sides conveniently. They are the ones that is responsible
for this division
of
this independence celebration. Because everybody used to enjoy it as one. And these and them what inside the know.
The NDC that is responsible for it. They want to celebrate 50 years in an NDC way. They don't want the other members involved.
50 years should be the brightest one. Brightest one. Brightest independent we should be celebrating. They come with a black. And what I on the other program I heard with the how you call him and them just have it with Stephen the one in Tivoli and thing there. We I forget how they just call it on weekend 8:00. There I heard the young lady was saying the excuse they have for the black and white on the bridges and things is to the sake of the vehicle and them, they will see the color brighter. That is the excuse they have for the black and white painting on those bridges and things. But what is the excuse with them wearing the black jersey?
Well, the problem is the national colors hot. You go burn the hand.
Yeah,
after they go and call people clown who wearing it now, they're afraid to touch it.
The shame.
That is the reason. It's not nothing about bridge or nothing. Since when they care about bridge, they don't care about bridge. Don't bother with them. They just lie. They sit down and plan and now they're talking about bridge. They damn lie. They waste time with that. The color's hot. You're going to burn them up. Because they claim it's clowns that putting it on them. And that's why they're fighting to dilute its significance.
None of the clowns shouldn't go amongst them. Let them dress to the black and go and mourn. They're mourning for Bishop. They're mourning.
There was a mourning for ISIS.
That is what they're mourning for. They're mourning for it. So let them sing. Have a blessed day.
Yes, scholar.
God bless.
Over the years, many have tried with some measure of success to unite this country. One of it was the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that was established post 1983. And I was very comfortable and welcoming to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Something similar to what took place in South Africa. I saw after 1983 a number of the people that we considered as Kodites became real victims. I saw ordinary men be slapped up and spat upon. Some of them turned vagrants. And today some of them walking on the street as drug addicts. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, welcome.
I heard you encouraging farmers, people who want to go into farming. They could rear cattle. You don't have to have land to rear cattle.
Not cattle. I said sheep. Some people are rearing sheep and goat and they have no land. So I'm saying if you don't have land, you have to be careful with goat. Because goat is more destructive and your neighbors would be less tolerant to goat.
Yeah, because we are victim of that, eh?
Yeah, a lot. That's why I said a lot of people are victim of indiscriminate livestock rearing.
I thought I heard cattle too, because cattle also, there's a guy who rearing cattle around the area.
Well, a couple years ago...
Cattle here, not the where I'm living, but the next neighbor village. And he's rearing his cattle around here, and so he's destroying us.
They destroy everybody and then they sell the cattle.
So I think if these people want to go into rearing animals, first they must fence around somewhere where they intend to.
They're just destructive. They're just destructive. Exactly. They tie the cattle in your land, they damage it. Sometimes they curse people and intimidate them. Yeah. Particularly the young men threaten to kill people, and then people have to keep quiet. And they damage people's land and then sell the animals. Mm-hmm. And that I don't even consider that as a legitimate, decent farm agriculture. That is just hooligans trying to intimidate
people. They should
people.
put something in place to deter these people from doing that, Because even though you take them to
sometimes
court,
all it takes
getting right over you.
Sometimes all it takes is farmers working together. Some people do not speak up for the weak in the community. So you have a piece of land, so they see you as the enemy. And this is encouraging our country, looking at successful people and seeing them as the enemy. And they end up getting support from others to destroy you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. But if somebody want to rear goats, they have to have them tethered or in pens, because goat could be very destructive. And you cannot rear a number of goats in an enclosed area without partition. Let me say that again. You could have 200 sheep in an enclosed area. Not goat. Goat behaving like human beings. They're fighting with one another. They have the alpha females. They're joining up and beat others. They will kill goats. Goats will kill goats. So you have to have a lot of different sections for them. It's more difficult. It's more challenging. But Grenadians like goat. But you could rear sheep in an enclosed area, and they could eat practically anything. They eat practically anything. They're not as destructive as goats. And even you have them tethered, tie out by the roadside, farmers are less tolerant. They are more tolerant to sheep than goat. As soon as a farmer sights a goat, he's starting to complain, because the goat will back his trees, but the sheep is less likely to do damage. We have to determine, sometimes when people claim they want people in common agriculture, what they want is agriculture workers. You're not a farmer. You might be doing agriculture work with a farmer. You might be a farmer and yet doing agriculture work. But we have to get it right. You want to go in land, in agriculture, sit down and discuss the most profitable venture that you could go in. Because land might be a challenge. You may not have land. But because Grenada have the most landowners, a lot of family members might have access to land. And then you can rear your pen. Some people spend too much money in establishing the pens. They could use a lot of local material. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, I listened to you there, and you're talking about this and talking about that. Mr. Pierre, NMP decided to boycott the independent.
Where you heard that, caller? Caller, where you heard that? I did not hear that, caller. Caller, where you heard that?
They don't go into independence celebration.
Where you heard that?
When they had the opening of February, they boycotted. They don't go.
Caller. You know, I could let you say all these things on the radio. Nothing wrong with that. But we agree that we must speak some truth. So I'm asking you, did you hear that? Where you heard that?
When they launched this celebration, the beginning of the celebration, none of them go. Kid Mitchell, none of them go.
Were they invited?
They was invited.
Caller, were they invited?
Yes.
All right.
Kid Mitchell and them was invited.
Yeah.
They never go.
But you know, caller, the NNP disappoint me. Since the government introduced restorative justice in this country, if I'm a politician, that is a declaration of war.
Well, let it go.
This is when a country, caller.
Let it go fight the war.
Caller.
We boycott the thing.
Caller.
Continue to them.
Yes, caller. Go. I think the best. Caller, I think the best thing, I've heard a number of people in NNP talking about unity and all this thing. This is nonsense. The NDC do not want unity.
Well, the
NDC is a fractious government.
If they ask you for unity and you say you don't want unity, well, you keep saying.
Well, yes.
Unity.
Well, caller, I agree with you. The NDC is celebrating the thing. Just leave them alone. I have not bothered, you know. Instead, if they're celebrating the thing and they want to do it alone, the winner take all. In our type of politics, the winner takes all. And if the National Democratic Congress wants to celebrate 50 years, NDC style and NDC alone, then wish them well and leave them be. And nothing is wrong with that from a political point of view. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
Caller, you have to remember the last 5 years NMP in power. NDC used to go in Command Park. They never used to come in the stadium and celebrate independence. So get your story right. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, you see, unity is an important thing, and I'm a bit upset because post-83 is the worst I have seen. The National Democratic Congress is going after people in the lower income group, caregivers, agriculture workers on Grand Bay Estate, agriculture workers in pest management unit, agriculture workers on the road, the most helpless of workers. The most helpless of workers. And I don't think that is right. Because what you're doing, you're fracturing the society. And this group of individuals, all of them was new to politics. And they campaigned on their newness. They sold this newness to our people. And some people say, the two old traditional parties, we cannot tired with the bickering and fighting, so let us try this brand new team. Yes, caller, welcome.
Pierre?
Yes, caller, welcome.
How are you, man?
Great, man.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. What I'm saying, I think this separation, hold on, let me just, That's better. Sorry about that. You there?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Right. I think this back and forth thing, NNP going to NDC thing and NDC going to NNP thing. I don't think this is the best for us, you know. I don't think we as a people getting anywhere.
No, it's not good for us at all. We could agree on that, Color.
No, indeed.
You and I agree on that.
It's not, and this is not what we want.
Color.
This is not what we need. This is not. No. Listen. I'm not talking about no NNP, no NDC, no. I'm no. Either. I mean, anytime you speak, somebody say, "Oh, he's an NNP, or he's an NDC." I mean, nonsense. This thing. Listen, we are all Canadians, and we are all one people. We must seek a way to get rid of these things. But it's like we just love it. I mean, look, Mr. Pierre. Listen. I don't listen to every program you have, and it's not no, right? And I mean, I appreciate you. I agree that you are, you're a NNP, whatever activist or whatever. If I'm wrong here, forgive me, right? But we must be more sensitive and more neutral, because at the end of the day, we cannot leave these things to them. I mean, for our children, this is what we feel proud and we feel good to live for our children. I mean, when we go, to have them, to encourage this infighting and this separation and division. We're not getting anywhere with these things, and from since day one up to 2004, we still going down this kind of road, and man, trust me, that doesn't make me sick and tired,
I'm glad, Color, if you're sick and tired, I'm glad, because I sick and tired too. But if you have a government, Color, remember the Prime Minister is the chief shepherd, and then you have things associated. You call people classless, nasty people, greedy people. The Prime Minister himself, beggy people. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, good people. The Prime Minister introduced restorative justice. The Minister of Health, mad black woman. Now look at these statements. And when all of them is coming from the NDC, are you not concerned?
Okay, all right.
Are you not concerned, Color?
Yes, but listen, can I say something here?
Go right ahead.
Go long, right? You there?
Go right ahead.
No, I think what could go a long way, right, in solving this problem is that we all come together as one, opposition and opposition, government, whoever, and always seek to really iron out problems, to really work out differences. Because I will tell you something. At the end of the day, all of us is guilty of wrong.
Color,
all of us, it doesn't
Color,
matter.
all this state.
No. Hold on. Just give me 1 minute. The thing about it is, all of us is guilty of wrong, regardless to who or what. Watch me, from the biggest to the smallest, to right, from the greatest to the small, right, to the small. All of us is guilty of wrongdoing. All of us fall short. So the thing about it is, right, according to the good master, who is without sin cast the first stone. So how we have.
So what you mean the problem can solve?
No. Hold on.
We must solve problem. We mustn't. I'm not somebody that advocate people walking around with problem on their head,
Yeah, but
this statement must be condemned.
Well,
it coming from one side. This statement come from one side.
But Mr. Pierre,
condemn them.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that these statements are right. I'm not saying this statement should be condoned. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here, let me make myself clear, is that one of the ways, right, that I see these things could get rid of, is that people, both sides coming together and talking about it and looking to solve problems, not fanning the flames of separation and segregation, right? Coming together in an atmosphere of peace, right, and togetherness, and see we could. Because at the end of the day, this is one of the ways that we could really that differences could really iron out.
Okay,
Because,
cool.
all right, because A condemning B and B condemning C, and we always show, back and forth, we ain't getting anywhere, Mr. Pierre.
All right, caller, thank you.
Man.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that the NDC won election. And when I heard the first statement from Mr. Andal about good people, I was a little taken aback. But then, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller,
good
welcome.
afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, on target listeners.
Yes, go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, the last caller is trying to pacify what is happening. But I guess that last caller doesn't listen to all the programs and all the podcasts that is be online. I'm a person that will listen to all these things on them, right? When you have somebody telling people to call a sitting prime minister of Grenada a Moyakoi, and telling little children to call the sitting prime minister of a country Moyakoi, and look at black boy, and short man syndrome, and saying things like, if you had a choice to go back in time, either tell God to give a certain man some condoms or something to throw a child for you to become the prime minister. I have never heard Sheldon Scott. I have never heard you, Mr. Pierre. I have never heard Carl Keaton. No NLP program derogatizing anybody's name at no given time. I have never heard it. This thing is broken and
Caller.
it can't be fixed. You know why? It is continue to happen.
Caller, you ever heard any senior member of NDC condemn or disassociate themselves from any one of these statements?
No, and they haven't. And
Caller,
Deacon Mitchell was interviewed.
Caller, you
By
ever,
the Scientist.
caller, you heard when they say the church sucking the anus of a political party?
Exactly.
And
I mean,
no,
come on.
no
I know there's
member
something.
of the NDC, none, has disassociated themselves from the statement or condemn it. They are part and parcel.
Mr.
This
Pierre.
is their philosophy.
Mr. Pierre, they say no, we mature and we have to let bygones be bygones, brother. Really?
Well, caller,
There's a station. Hold on, Mr. Pierre. There's a station in Carriacou owned by a big man in society in Carriacou calling or referring to Kid Mitchell as Diablo. My God, all this, stop it now. Stop it.
Well, I don't
That's
think.
all in it. Stop it.
I don't think it would stop.
It's not weird doing it.
I don't think
It's
it would
not
stop.
NDP doing it.
I think this is the NDC. This is what NDC all
You
about.
understand?
I don't think it would stop.
And
This
these
is
guys,
NDC.
these guys going on that program. I listen to Tevin Andrews and Ron Redhead talking about who's Hatchet Man and who will get jail. Imagine that same guy in Calcutta that owned that radio station. When somebody said that they have a recording of this guy talking about who's clung for waving the flag and waving the colors. He said the guy never said so. Mr. Pierre, watch me.
Caller. You have to take this thing with a good sense of humor. Let me tell you this one.
Even a good sense of humor. My God, boy.
Caller, they said that they want to partition that constituency, and they don't care if he end up with New Zealand or Australia. And the lad that like weed was on that program then. Could you imagine? The lad that like weed joined them on the radio station.
Mr. Pierre, I look at number 10. I look at number 10 in the parliament handing Andy Williams a piece of pipe. And I say, my God, look at the stupidity. If that lady, Honorable Dema Thomas, had any ounce of respecting her body and any ounce of honesty, she would have come forward and say exactly what the faith organization was doing. Right now, we had nation builders. Mr. Pierre, watch me. The corruption is real. Mr. Pierre, you have a good afternoon.
Thank you, caller. I don't think our caller understand. When $160,000 is paid to an individual could jump the fence and call jab to take out picture. I look at a picture with Rihanna. When I see it on social media, so you have Photoshop going on, so you don't have to be her. I never heard anybody say it's her before. It looks like her. She cock up, and she have an individual taking picture. She gallbladder. Well, when people, money go in people's head and they lose the sense of morality, and then you hear Deacon Mijel say, morality is a private thing. Is in this context, you have to take all these statements as classless, nasty people, greedy people, beggy people, good people, restorative justice, clowns, sucking the anus of a political party and hatchet man. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, sir. You know, what is always strange is that people usually take the scripture and misquote it and twist it to suit their agenda. When people are saying that the Messiah said, he who have no sin cast the first stone, they only take a small part of the scripture, of the whole conversation which took place. Because when those men...
They pelting text.
Right? when they brought the woman to the Messiah, and he said, look, he who have no sin cast the first stone. They all walked away. Then what did he say to the woman? Go and sin no more. So he never condoned the wrong that she was doing.
Never condone it.
People have to understand they need to stop this nonsense.
No, some people walk around. Some people walk around with Bible text in their pocket to pelt.
Yeah, even them pastors. Look, this men and them that claiming to be God, men of God. All the men and them is I said that hidden. What they are doing is misleading.
Remember, David was a man of God and he take Uriah's wife.
Right? So they are misleading people, brainwashing them, and using them for the political agenda. But it is time that people wake up, because the scripture tells us every man have to work out his own salvation with fear and trembling.
Yeah.
So when you make yourself a fool and follow the pastor on the day of judgment, you think you could tell God, well, Pastor Rat or Pastor Cat tell me that? Sorry for you on that day.
Yeah.
So people better wake up before it is too late. Mr. Pierre, enjoy the rest of your
Yes, and I think the Prime Minister of Grenada is the chief shepherd. Maybe he does not understand that. He's given 110,000 people to lead. The majority of people choose him in an election that was fair, was free, and was free from fear. He is the legitimate political ruler of all Grenadians. I call on some of the individuals in the National Democratic Congress. Maybe they have to tell the Prime Minister that. Maybe they have to nudge him. Maybe they have to encourage him. Let him know he's the chief shepherd. He cannot be associated with these divisive, fractious expressions. You cannot call you people classless. You cannot say, I'm not living in the designated place of abode because I will be overlooking classless villages. You cannot call Grenadians nasty people. Some people nasty people. You cannot say these people are named greedy and needy people in a more disdain, dismissive, despicable manner. You cannot refer to people as beggy people. We are not rich people. All of us need assistance. We used to send to a neighbor and get some salt. And we used to ask our neighbor for fire. Go and get piece of fire by Miss Mary. And when we grandmother put onion and garlic in the pot, because she don't have nothing to eat, Miss Jane used to send up some food. She didn't go and ask Miss Jane, because she asked her last week already and she shamed. So she put garlic and onion, so Miss Jane go believe she have food. But Miss Jane know the man gone and she belly big, she don't know food. So Miss Jane would send up food for. So when Deacon used the term beggy, it is unacceptable. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
We're talking about let the people and them talk to the Prime Minister. Listen to me. The Prime Minister and the ministers, all of them book the passage for hell already. So you could say what you want to say, and that is it. Have a nice afternoon.
Yeah, but you still have to, I don't want them going hell. So I still have to try my best. And I've even appealed to Mr. Tillman Thomas, Franca Bonadine, William Joseph, and Nazim Buck to go and have a little discussion with him and let him know that these things are unacceptable, that he cannot do that. He cannot refer to Grenadians as clowns just because they wear national colors. He cannot describe political parties as sucking the anus. The church. And this statement that he made about the church and state separation, it was not in good taste. The hatchet man that he have in his team, you have to discipline the hatchet man. He has fired people unjustifiably. Now, if you is the prime minister of a country, you are the chief shepherd. And all the sheep, not some sheep, all the sheep you have to go in. And while the prime minister doing that, this prime minister has told more impactful lies to this nation than all other prime ministers and chief ministers put together since 1967. This prime minister appears to be the most greedy prime minister that ever passed in this country. The prime minister, it is said, is involved in selling passport in the CBI program, and he is the final authority in the sale of the very said passport. So where are the check and balances? Several ministers of this government were able to obtain loan from the GDP Bank because they would not be qualified, they would not be able to qualify in the commercial banks. Now, this have to be made known to the Prime Minister. There is no precedent for this act of corruption. If the Prime Minister wants to legitimize it, then he have to legalize illegality. The Prime Minister have to go in Parliament and legalize illegality. These things are unacceptable. It is opening a cesspool of corruption, and it is making an indelible mark on the National Democratic Congress. They will wear the stamp as the most corrupt government ever post-1967. This ought not to be. So I believe they need help. I don't think they would listen to us, but some of the individuals around them who want to walk around town and still give people the impression that they believe in morality and accountability and good governance have to talk to them. They have to tell me, Prime Minister, if Mr. Forrester is paid by government to be an ambassador for the diaspora, that is a good thing. But it is not good for it to seem and appear that his only role is to raise funds for the National Democratic Congress. That is corruption. They have to tell the Prime Minister to explain to the public what he means by restorative justice. And what is the content? What is contained by the gracious offer given to Ron? That could be considered tantamount to bribery. And they have to advise the Prime Minister to retire the gifts that he got, retire to the Integrity Commission. He cannot keep it. It's unacceptable. It would be an act of corruption. And remember, on Friday you can call and speak about independence. And we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 when you have an opportunity to punch.